Rogue's going to have a big advantage starting on defense here, but the early warning signs for fans of Rogue will be if they're unable to lock out a couple of rounds on defense to start off with. Hindering the attackers will be a Hibana ban. It's going to be Rogue's choice for the attacking lineup, and Space Station will now have their opportunity to figure out who they're going to take care of. Remember, Ying and Valkyrie were their bans yesterday, were their bans on Consulate just a few minutes ago. We'll see if that sticks for SSG. No, surprisingly, they will be the ones to ban Glaz this time around.
Very surprising for me as well. Ying, such a fantastic operator that has been used by Rogue many a time. Those Kandalas are so dangerous. If you guys are newer to the scene, those Kandalas are basically little balls that you can roll on the ground with a timer or make them go off instantaneously, and they literally dump flashbangs everywhere. As sadly, we are going to have Thinking Nade disconnect from the game. You guys will get to see our beautiful faces one more time before we get into Clubhouse. Oh, well, thank you guys. I appreciate that. Oh, my goodness. All right. Okay. It's all for you, Parker. I know it's not for me.
Space Station, just before it paused, we saw a Valkyrie ban, and we'll see if there's a pause on Rogue's side of things for their final ban, or their final operator ban. Like we said, it's likely going to be Maestro, but we won't know until we get back into the game. Actually, will be a Maestro, so there you go.
Oh, they didn't come back to us. I feel like everybody here is definitely disappointed. I know. I can sense it.
Stop fishing for compliments.
You noticed?
Yes.
Dang it. Anyways, Maestro going to be banned out. Going to keep the echo up for the young man himself, Redeemer, once again. He's been looking very, very good on it. As actually, you guys will be coming back to us. As the lights come on, you're going to be seeing our faces here shortly as we are staring at Space Station. But honestly, this Clubhouse map, once again, has been so good for both of these teams across the Pro League seasons, as well as of late. Most notably, Space Station winning the last time as of recently against Rise Nation yesterday and making it look very, very easy.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big thing here on Clubhouses. Number one, with that Hibana ban by Rogue, not only do Rogue have the benefit of starting on defense, which is where you likely want to be on Clubhouse, but it's going to make life miserable for Space Station Gaming. Now, Chala is capable of playing both Hibana and Thermite, so it's not an absolutely crucial blow to Space Station's chances, but Hibana does bring quite a bit more fragging potential than a Thermite will. Also won't allow you to play as aggressively with a Thermite because, well, you have to get very, very close to where you set down your exothermic charge. You can't play from range like Hibana can, as Hibana's gadget does tend to shoot quite a fair distance. And as well, Hibana being a 3-speed means that if the timer is really ticking down, you can reposition much faster. It's something that Chala did a couple of times on Consulate. On Rogue's side of things, oh, the Miran band. They do have 2 Mira players on their team. They can run Eclipse on it or easily, but it's going to be easily locking down on site with the Echo. And then Slash playing the Pulse. This is pretty ordinary for what we have here. The only person who might play off-site is going to be Vertical, but I would imagine he'll probably be somewhere close.
If you guys did see that update from SSG, from Siege GG, relatively the same acronym, but anyways, Siege GG bringing up that stat there for you. Last 2 times that Rogue and Space Station have played this map against each other, Rogue has come out on top in a very large fashion both times, 6-1 and 5-2 with those scorelines.
Over the last 6 months, it's been Space Station banning this map 5 times. They have a 9 wins, 4 losses record, of which one was a 6-1 victory yesterday over Rise Nation. As for Rogue, they've only banned this map twice, and they're 7-1-1. 7 victories, 1 draw, and 1 loss, for those that are curious as to how those numbers work. So, with Rogue having the upper hand in terms of the times they played, that'll give you some confidence, but there needs to be a pretty big asterisk next to that because Rogue has Vertical on the team and Bosco is now on Space Station, and there's been role swaps for both teams because of this. So, round number 1 underway on Clubhouse. Maverick remaining unbanned, and here's where we will see Maverick is so vital. He can just poke holes in hatches, and you might, as a defender, think the hatch above you is sound, but it's not. In fact, you can get caught through it. It's going to be Chala grabbing the stock hatch. It's going to take quite a while, as Maverick is not known for being particularly fast with this blowtorch. It's a downstairs defense, though, for Rogue, so hatch control is going to be incredibly important, and I think that's a big part of why Rogue banned Hibana, because it's going to limit the choices for Hard Breach on attack.
Chala going to be very good at drawing squares there, as he is going to drop that hatch onto itself and break that. Most notably right now, Rampy going to be playing that Jackal. And that is one thing about Clubhouse. Roam game is always questionable. You can either try to do it and more than likely die, or you can play all 5 downstairs, and you have those angles to do so, especially on this site. Now, you guys did see that mirror setup of Eclipse, and you're going to get to see it one more time. Thank you, Rampy. I appreciate that. As he is running the double mirror setup on the church wall. And honestly, this has worked out very, very well in the past. The only thing that is wrong is if one of them pops, you have a clear sightline across church.
Some teams actually deliberately pop it in the dying seconds to be able to return fire at an angle that you might not be able to get through the middle panel that is shot open. This is actually a mirror setup that Evil Geniuses have done a number of times, and well, it typically ends up working out quite well. And well, there you go. All that information being given as Chala down slash, but isn't able to get the kill. Gets traded off by Eclipse, who reads that correctly and eliminates the Maverick of Chala inside of Moto. Now from above, Thinking Nade drops through the Moto hatch. He's just surveying inside of the table church, but there's nobody who's going to bother to peek. There's 2 bodies of Rogue. Not a lot of time. Clock's going to start to work. Thinking Nade picks off 1. He thinks he's going to grab the mirror, and he gets the mirror ejected. Oh, a double from Thinking Nade. Rampy's there, and Thinking Nade with 3 kills. It's a full house. 3 kills, Thinking Nade, 2 for Rampy, and they just capitalize in a matter of seconds. Space Station starting this match off. Clubhouse up 1-0.
Honestly, I think it's all in the afro. The man has the best hair in the game, and also apparently the best aim, taking out 3 people right there, making it look easy. And he's like, hey guys, all you gotta do is walk in. I mean, come on, I got 3 kills. But as we actually are going to sadly have someone disconnect. Hopefully they will be reconnected quickly. But that last round, there was a lot to talk about actually. And specifically, the one big thing for me is how long it took SSG to get set up.
That was a painful process for Space Station to be able to get there, especially losing Chala when they did. And that really could have gone sideways. They could have been victims of the clock. It was carried off of the backs of the way that Thinking Nade played. When the pulse went down and then the Mira peaked wrong and missed, Eclipse and Slash both fell inside a church. They lost control. You saw that Rogue realized they needed to get at least 1 body inside of church. As 2 members of the team rotated to try and cover different entrances, Rampy picked off 1, Thinking Nade got the other, and as Rampy got his kill, he pushed it and secured the final one, needed for Space Station. That was not a round that, in all reality, Space Station could confidently say they deserved to win. When you have somebody who basically just takes over a round, as Thinking Nade did there, it's very difficult for that to be consistent in your attacking strats or defending strats, really. So, given the fact that Rogue lost church downstairs, what a lot of teams tend to do is go to another site, and it appears that that's exactly what they're going to do, heading upstairs to CCTV and Cash, which tends to be the saving grace of teams who can't defend the basement quite well.
And also in this instance, for this bomb site, they are going to have Mira, since she did make it through the ban phase, and she is traditionally played on this site. Practically routinely when she is available, so powerful and able to watch into Cash Room from those Cash stairs. Now, since we are going to have Chala playing the Maverick here, everyone's going to have to be wary for their lives inside of that server area if they are going to try and rotate. So dangerous are those murder holes that he can burn into those reinforcements. I think my favorite thing about Maverick is that you can literally draw anything. You literally just have 5 torches and just draw whatever you want into anything, especially squares for those hatches like we said before, but most notably right here that we are going to want SSG to focus on if they are looking to take this round, which, you know, I'm sure they will want to try and take the round. They're going to want to focus on Garage here. Relieving that pressure inside of Garage from the defense is going to be their main focus if they are wanting to try and take server. You can also push construction on this side as well, but there's a lot of things that can go wrong with that. Impact tricking, a big one.
This site in particular is going to be aided on the defense by the fact that Hibana is not in play. Typically the way that you'll use one of Hibana's X-Karos is where you just saw the bandit of Shuttle reinforcing. Basically what you do as Hibana is you open up a very small hole in the garage panel. It allows you to look all the way up towards the window that is inside of CCTV. If there's anybody actively bandit tricking on the side of it, you can usually get some coverage there depending on who you are as an operator, and most importantly, you can catch anybody who decides to vault through that window onto the metal balcony inside of the garage. Now, given that Hibana is banned, this is what I was saying, it really helps the defense because there's only one exothermic charge that can be used that likely won't go on the CCTV wall. Some teams will use it on garage, others will use it to try and clear out construction and put pressure on both sites. It really depends on the way you use your thermite, and of course, it's greatly contingent on your thermite surviving, something that Bosco almost couldn't say for himself, as he gets spotted by the pulse sensor of Vertical, with Bosco on his own gadget to try and figure out where Vert lies.
Located by attackers.
Bosco is just trying to hunt out these pulses, and this is one of my favorite strategies to see with that Maverick is opening up the very bottom, allowing someone to shoot out the mute or bandit that they've applied there, having Redeemer rappel down as that thermite, and opening up the wall from the top. Fantastic strategy coming out from SSG, using those game mechanics beautifully as they are going to get the garage opened as well. This main wall right here getting blown open on the garage, the beauty of that right there is to cut off those rotations from the basement. Is going to lock easily more or less downstairs and chain him to the cache stairwell if he's trying to get back up quickly. Now we do still have easily locked upstairs on the catwalk. This is not the place that he currently wants to be. If he's able to play this for a long time, should be able to waste enough time to put his team into a good spot, but if he rotates or moves around just wrong, he's going to lose his life as this round just ticks past the 1 minute 20-second mark.
First kill is going to go to Eclipse, as he was unable to be found on Jaeger playing below. He'll eliminate the IQ. He's going to get some pressure from over in Kennels, and he's going to lose that fight. Rampy walking away with full HP. And you basically traded your IQ for your Jaeger. That's a pretty decent trade because the Pulse is still on the board for Rogue as well as the Echo. It means that IQ gadget, which would be so valuable in the later half of this matchup, will no longer be there. This is easily getting some great shots onto Redeemer, but Thinking Nade is there. He's got 2 frag grenades, but he knows that there's an ADS. He just sees the foot as Easily desperately trying to get on over. Thinking Nade gets caught by the ADS. No frag grenade, a sigh of relief, but there are a number of people looking over as Easily a great shot. Traded off by Rampy, and Thinking Nade trying to cover a push from outside of Garage. As the space station now turning towards the site, but Vertical will sit safely behind a mirror window and give callouts to his teams. Challenge Shuttle just inches apart. Shuttle trying to engage, and he'll win the fight. And Rampy looking for a trade-off. C4 will not connect. Rampy is there, but Vertical and Slash hold it down. Rampy will be able to get out-dueled, and a big double kill from Rogue's newest addition. Vertical give Rogue their first victory on defense.
Vertical coming up massive there, but Easily, oh my goodness, man. Cool, calm, and collected the entire time. He's just prone on top of that catwalk, even surviving with that ADS, just having the entire team focused on him of SSG. That's fantastic play coming out there with that Echo. See if he's going to be able to keep it up as they will head back downstairs. Now, last time they were here, kind of let that round slip by them. Just a little bit. Thinking Nade coming up with a very, very good play, but usually when big plays are made by solo people, something does go wrong on the other end of things, and that's kind of what happened there inside of Church. A little bit of a blunder, but I feel like they're going to be able to bring it back this time around.
I think it was more just an extraordinary performance by Thinking Nade rather than a complete failure of the way that Rogue played that in general. I mean, yes, technically Rogue did peak him when they didn't necessarily need to, given the fact there's only 15 to 20 seconds left in the round, in round number 1. But whether you're peaking him or not, you still have to give an immense amount of credit for the way that Thinking Nade was able to land those shots and watch every rotate along with Rampy of the way that Rogue tried to recover and keep control of the site.
So, Vertical angles here being very important inside of the armory area, especially that kitchen area. That is the main crux of that entire back site right there. Oh, thank you, spectator. Appreciate that as he does look around the kitchen for me. But the main things you want to be concerned about right there is those vertical angles that can get opened by Thinking Nade, as well as there is a cool little trick that Shuttle can do with those impact nades from underneath to actually stop the hatch. He's going to throw it right into the bottom of that silver little tray, and it will actually stop anything that's going to happen up top, especially Redeemer's thermites.
As good a place as any for Aguma and stop Bosco just by the garage and take 10 HP away, but really won't do too much to slow him down, as it actually looks like they realize that Shuttle's position inside of garage could have netted them a free kill, but Shuttle drops through oil pit. There's also a yokai drone that will just scoot away as Bosco pulls out his IQ scanner, his gadget scanner, to try and figure out exactly where the electronics are on behalf of the defenders. That's a lucky situation for easily be able to get that yokai from being picked off by the attackers.
Now, the one thing that you do want to focus on with IQ is balancing how much you use her utility. There's a lot of people that just use her for her gun and don't ever use her utility. She has some of the best utility in the games that she is able to see anything electronic through walls with that little wrist attachment that she has. And Bosco making good work of that right now. Redeemer focused on getting those hatches open though. You can see Thinking Nade and Redeemer both staring down blue hatch as the flashbangs are going to start getting dedicated. Might be seeing a push come out here anytime as we are getting towards the middle of the round.
Very smart play there from Vertical as the Jaeger. He was holding on to an ADS, looking to actively trick. Now, ADS tricking is doable, though, for those that need any description. I'll tell you in just a second, because Rampy shreds right through Eclipse. The Mira very vulnerable downstairs, and good coordination from the Buck to be able to open that up and have Rampy pounce on the free kill that was presented as Eclipse became vulnerable for just a second. Getting back to ADS tricking, it's when Jaeger takes his ADS device and puts it down after the first throwable has been sent his way. Because you will think that you've cleared out the ADSs, but in all reality, there's another one getting placed that's able to catch the frag grenade. Shuttle, realizing that the hatch from above is being hit by Maverick, knows that there's at least one body not too far off. His impact grenade will not connect with anything, but Rampy's gonna grab some footprints above and begin to transition with 30 seconds left. Rogue's the only one with somebody missing, but it's Chalo who's gonna get eliminated, as that was Shuttle just down below. And we're gonna have Thinking Nade try yet again the same strategy. Walk into church, see if somebody peeks you. This time though, Slash is gonna be able to get it easily, returns fire quite well. Bosco and Redeemer will keep it close though. Shuttle takes one down, and Redeemer will now need to work with only 9 seconds left. Shuttle's key focus will be on surviving. Ping's coming out, and it's gonna be a Legion Mine thrown out from Shuttle. He's got some time to work with and waiting, and Redeemer falls off at the last second. Probably shouldn't have. He didn't know it. He was likely safe from Shuttle's advance. That's gonna be Rogue taking their second round in a row.
Hearing those footsteps, which is always dangerous in those kind of situations where it's more or less, okay, I can stick the diffuser, hopefully make it out of it alive, or I have that split second to just try and get a couple of bullets in that last man to win us the round. Sadly, wrong choice right there, as Rogue will sneak away with another round, make it a 2-1. So far, this clubhouse neck and neck.
It would have been scary for Rogue if they weren't able to win that defense. They should be able to take a majority of the 5 rounds that they spend on defense. That's 3 of them. So far they've got 2. They're doing very well. If Space Station takes the next 2, well, that's a troubling sign for them. Due to the way that, of course, Pro League rules work and US Nationals rules work and all other ESL competitions work, etc., well, you have to go to a 3rd site before the first that you won on unlocks. This means that Gym Master is going to be the setting for round number 4 for Rogue. Now, this site is defendable by any real strategy that you can throw out. However, it does tend to be less favored than the other 2 sites, both Church downstairs that we just witnessed and then CCTV Cache earlier on. It's of course a preferable site, Gym and Master, to Bar Stock, which is the first floor, which tends to be a site that the only teams that really defend it are Cloud9, and they actually do a pretty good job, but it doesn't really seem to be in anybody else's portfolio.
Yeah, more than likely just trying to avoid it at all costs. And this particular site used to be very powerful, actually, just due to the fact of impact tricking. In case you guys are wondering what we're talking about with impact tricking, all these different tricks. Impact tricking is when you are able to open up either the top or the bottom, more than likely the top of a wall that is reinforced. You toss an impact up above it and it actually ends up breaking anything that is trying to get through that is hard breach, like either Thermite's exothermic charges or Hibana's X-Kairos. Not really going to break a blowtorch, but you could do a little bit of fun damage to them in the process, but they did end up putting a metal strip over the jacuzzi wall in order to stop that because it made the site too powerful.
The castle barricades that was placed inside of the garage that looks all the way over towards red, which is where vertical is posted, ends up getting meleeed down, and this is a good spot. But thinking nade, that is a beautifully intelligent play to catch vertical, and he knows that there's another one playing in there. A Toxic Babe is going to go out, and that's a lot of damage, and Shuttle getting very aggressive right now. Rogue completely occupying cash room and preventing SSG from going through. Shuttle with a second, looking for a third. He goes prone, bearing in hand, thinking nade is a light gust of wind away from death. And he's gonna get dropped. It's a good opportunity for Shuttle to get up. Redeemer takes one down, but it's a double from Eclipse. And Rogue! What a round for Rogue as they prevent Space Station from even getting into cash, let alone towards the site. Space Station not even smelling the idea of a diffuser being planted.
Shuttle, like a wild animal locked in a cage, happens to be filled with cash, but he gets a lot of kills, prevents any push from SSG happening over on that side of the map. Traditionally, there is one or two ways to take that site, and it's either you go through construction / cash room, or you start over on the jacuzzi balcony, blow open the wall, try and get yourself into weights, and try and get that bomb down. This time not working out too well for him, but this is typically how we see Clubhouse goes, defender-sided. Now, SSG, they do end up getting this last round here, making it 3-2. That's about as good as you can get, unless going positive, obviously, but that traditionally doesn't happen except for what we saw yesterday with that Rise game against SSG.
Now, everything going according to plan for Rogue, and really, this could be 4-0 if things had gone differently in round number 1, which I will remind most people, and it's something that if you end up losing, you look back at round number 1 and you think, man, we really should have won that one. This could have been a totally different game. But for the time being, Rogue are okay having lost that round. It's really been the only momentum that was built from Space Station. It did not carry over. And since then, Rogue have had a very firm command / control of this map. Now, if it goes in favor of Rogue, I'd imagine we'll see probably a tactical timeout come out after this round as they will switch sides, and then the big question is going to be, how does Space Station answer back, given that they will be on defense? CCTV in cash, when was defended by Rogue, but a couple things that Rogue did very well. Number one, easily up on that catwalk inside a garage, as you mentioned, with the ACOG. That's where you're going to be playing any operator with an ACOG. Usually it's a Maestro. Maestro's not available in this matchup because he was banned out by none other than Rogue. So they keep somebody like a Doc, a Rook, and Echo up there. Very difficult to be taken out. And in fact, one of the best operators that pushing into Garage, Glaz, also banned. So the tools to take out the ACOG player in Garage, not going to be there. Space Station just simply have to be better at taking that part of the map if they want to win this round.
Bosco now back on IQ. No IQ getting played. He has the Zofia, but his friend Vertical will be playing the Pulse once again, so no worries for Vert this time around. But the Maverick trick that we saw last time is going to come out once again, going to get rid of any utility trying to stop the wall. And they are going to get the server wall open, as Bosco is going to set up a drone downstairs in stock, just to see if anybody wants to try and run out, just covering all of their bases. Last time around on console, this did work, trying to check all those boxes, dot their I's, cross their T's before they try and make these pushes. This time, seems like they're trying to follow the same pace.
Eclipse is currently seated over by the pool table and had every opportunity to go for a run out, but it's going to be Shuttle actually on Rogue getting the very first kill onto Rampy. My apologies. It's the Capitao down. That's a lot of utility that will essentially be gone from SSG's side of things. Shuttle with the Iron Sights MP7 sees that the garage has been opened up down beneath him. It's the Buck of Thinking Nade that's playing there from Space Station. But both Shuttle and Thinking Nade will fall off. Also, worth noting, this is Shuttle's former team, so there's obviously some bragging rights on the line here. Redeemer's entry is shut down very early by Vertical, but Bosco is there. He goes big with a double kill, and then Chala grabs easily as Rogue gets so aggressive they lose the number count. And Slash above as the Mira will be Rogue's lone hope at taking their 4th round on this first half.
Having flashbacks from that church defense right now, as a daunting task stares at Slashug, as he is going to get droned out by Chala. 35 seconds left on the clock. This offense is going to have to opt to do something. Chala and Bosco both very, very weak, and if there is one thing that the Vector of Mira is good at, it's taking down those weak enemies with that high rate of fire. Now, if it does get down to, you know, what's in the mags, tell you what, one is in the bag. A bullet for the head of Slash as Chala's gonna find him on the window from the garage. What a shot from Chala. It's actually gonna be a pre-fire. Oh my goodness. What a round coming out from Space Station. So it will be 3-2 at the rotation.
I think that's as good as you're gonna get for Space Station. You have the conditions that are presented on defense here, and you still walk away with 2 of the 5, that's okay. Rogue did as well as they needed to do, and things aren't really that strange as we switch sides. Rogue is going to take their tactical timeout, though, because I think they realize that they're now going to be trying to keep this ball rolling, but it's going to be on an upward slope. It's not going to be quite so easy having to work against the defense on a map that heavily favors them. I was actually corrected yesterday. During the Rise Space Station matchup, I said I think it was like 58%. Apparently it is 62%.
Oh my goodness.
To 38% in favor of the defense here on Clubhouse. That is an absolutely monstrous gulf between those two sides. So imagine the defense needs to do well. Same thing is going to apply for Space Station that applied for Rogue on that first half. If SSG drop 1 or 2 of the first rounds, I think that is going to almost certainly seal this map up. And it's going to send us over to Coastline as the tiebreaker, which does await us, which tends to be one of Rogue's best maps.
Rogue is looking to push this to that overtime map of Coastline. As we are going to be going to this rotation once again, they will be on the offense. We will be starting things off on Church Arsenal Room. Redeemer back on his usual operator of Echo, his more recent usual operator, banned out once again, as there is going to be no Maestro on the board. As you guys can see at the very top of your screens right there before we hop into this. Another operator that I really want to talk about is Chala right now with that Echo and those Grismont mines. Gonna have some fantastic play with her, if played correctly, is gonna bring that deployable shield as well. This might be a little bit of a roam game here by SSG.
Ella's a very interesting operator in the way that a lot of teams utilize her, because she tends to be strongest when she locks down an area with those Gishmont mines. The Scorpion has a spray pattern that doesn't really help you out at all at long ranges, but its high rate of fire excels in close quarters. Very similar to the Vector of Mira, very similar to the SMG-11, though we've seen some pretty impressive tap firing from the SMG-11, able to net kills from great distances. These Gishmont mines also will work as essentially sentries. Chala coming very close. I think he realizes how he almost lost his head to Shuttle as they're trying to open up that barricade, but they haven't actually done so successfully. I don't think they know that there's an Ella lying beneath it.
Chala, though, going to play it cool, calm, and collected, as he is going to actually stick himself in blue stairs. As actually, Ella's going to hop outside. You don't see that long of an angle usually with that Scorpion, as Parker was just saying. That recoil pattern, pretty hellish horizontally at least. Kicks like crazy, but Shuttle is going to take a lot of damage from that, knocking him down to about 65 health. As he does motion to go through garage. Now, it seems to be that SSG strategy for this is going to be time wasting out of sight, which can work out very, very well if done correctly, but the bad thing about Clubhouse is that you can be punished extremely hard with that roam game.
Now my ears might deceive me, but it did sound like we heard Thinking Nade's Smoke say that he was out of mags, and if that's the case, then, well, he's only going to have the SMG-11 at his hands. I don't know if we're going to see anything. No, there we go. He figured it out. Look at that, the chat. You all sighed and then you all cheered. You got to follow along with this journey, and the stock hatch will go. But the bigger problem is that's going to take about 20 seconds off the clock for Rogue. They'll need to adjust accordingly. They still have a lot of time available, so it's not that big of a deal. Obviously, that stock hatch will go uncontested. Usually, you won't see defenders investing too much in stopping those two drop-down hatches that come with having a thermite on the board. Keep in mind there's a Maverick too in case another hatch needs to be taken out at some point, even though it will take quite a bit of time.
Yeah, those roamers already done their job. Chala showing his face just a little bit, just enough to say, hey, I'm here, you gotta worry about me. That's exactly what you want, but oh my goodness, what a shot coming through from Thinking Nate on that SMG-11. Obviously not going to know that Easily is down, because points aren't on. This is not ranked, this is competitive. Thinking Nate is gonna hear someone run past to go and pick up Easily, because they're going to need those thermite charges. Oh my goodness, IQ trying to rotate back in. Vertical is gonna get tagged up just a little bit, but not enough to call home about. But Slashug's gonna find two. Chala and Thinking Nade going down. These things are starting to look a little bit better for the offense here. Things are about to ramp up as we are hitting the 20-second mark. Eclipse gonna get taken out by Rampy in the process. You guys saw Vertical putting that diffuser down. Actually, he's gonna have to get reset, but Bosco coming up with two, and Rampy finding another one as it's 3 versus 1. Slashug all alone as he is going to get echoed, and they know exactly where he is due to that information right there inside of Moto. Will this be his grave? Yes, it will, as Bosco's gonna finish it with the pistol. Ladies and gentlemen, setting tone for these defensive rounds.
3-3, tied up exactly as they needed to do so. Thinking Nade, if only he hadn't hesitated and thrown the toxic canister through that hole opened up by the Maverick, that would have been a cleanup onto Easily, who was playing at the bottom of the stairs. But all of that started with Redeemer getting the very first kill onto Shuttle. And Rogue realized being at a disadvantage, they had to really pick up the pace. That's exactly when you saw who was Slash sprint in and pick up the double kill, the L85. Then the rest of his team ultimately fell around him, putting him in a position where, for the nth time in a row, you could say, Slash had to clutch it out. A great player, and a lot of times, that's one of the few people who I would fully entrust to keep a game in line when things are on the line, so to speak. We just couldn't do it there, and Space Station are playing very patiently. On attack, you noted that they were very slow and methodical, but on defense, they're not getting very aggressive. Something you can't say the same of for Rogue over the last match, and now through Clubhouse. Rogue realizing that they can control that aggression quite well and take chances that have won them more rounds than it hasn't. But the issue is that it's not going to work every single time, and when it's a game as close as this, sometimes it's better not to take that chance and play it safe, which is what SSG did on that round in particular. With the downstairs of Church and Arsenal being won, Space Station have to go to another site. CCTV cache for round number 7.
Space Station focused a lot on team play so far through this match, which has been working out fantastic for them. They looked very, very good on console, and they're looking a lot better on this defense. As the gracious Parker pointed out, this map is defensive-sided, so hopefully they will be able to get a little bit of breathing room. Currently 3-3 is the scoreline, as the Vertical is back on that IQ. Last time around, caused quite a bit of damage with this, but was just not enough to take the round.
Map control is not exactly the most crucial on this site, because typically you're going to just want to control garage, and then the other player is probably going to sit on red stairs, which is where the castle of Rampy is positioned. That's it. You're going to need about a minute to a minute and a half to fully take control of garage on the attacking side. It's been about a minute so far, and one of the garage panels have been opened up. It's a pretty respectable pace. But Vertical on IQ, it's not going to do much for the team. Chala immediately refragged, though, from Shuttle, who pokes a small hole in that castle barricade, just actually sees underneath it. Doesn't even need to use his blowtorch at all. You lose the Jaeger, but that's okay, because you lost the IQ from Rogue. I think that's a win for Space Station.
I will agree with that. Redeemer still on the board with those Yokai drones, as we are just about to the halfway point in this round right here. We are going to see Mav getting run by Shuttle. Start his blowtorch on the server wall. He's going to wait for Easily to rotate over. Speaking of Easily, he's going to find Rampy in the process, and that's going to be Castle off the board. But obviously those Castle barricades still could come into contact with anybody on the offense. give them a little bit of a teetering task if they do not have any soft destruction on them. But Rogue focused solely on taking control of Garage right now. This was played fantastic easily by Rogue. We'll see if Redeemer can follow suit.
Oh, he doesn't know though. There's 3 members that are going to team up on him, and he is really going to be under fire here. Thinking Nate grabs easily, but Eclipse eliminates Redeemer, and finally Garage control for Rogue as they can begin to push in. Space Station in a 2v3, so Rogue need to try to grab a round that they desperately need. You cannot let the defense run up the score on this map, as you'll run out of landing strip if you want to be able to fly away, shall I say, with the victory here. Thinking Nate behind a deployable shield, watching the open hole that was created by the Thermite. Oh, and on the other side of it, Slash sledges him up. Bosco will need to stop the defuse. He tossed out a C4, grabs shuttle. He knows there's one below. But Eclipse just waiting. Slash has the diffuser and is going for the plant. Bosco realizing he's got to get up there. He's got to go now. Looking for the marks, but he's not going to get it. Rogue, a successful plant, and this is going to be very difficult for Bosco. Open holes, soft walls. Bosco looking for an opportunity to see if there's going to be somebody who's going to peek through the window inside a Garage. Unable to land the shots on the MP7. Bosco will need ice in his veins. Double L85, he's not going to get anything. Slash will give Rogue the lead yet again. That got scary there for Rogue, but they cleaned it up. They cleaned it up real nice. Keep this game going.
I mean, if there's one man that you do not even want to give the chance to, it's going to be Bosco. The man has the clutch gene that everyone loves to talk about. He gets away with those 9 times out of 10, but that time Rogue going to be able to shut him down and skimp away with that round. 4-3, current round count. Not to match point just yet, but Rogue is trying to get there fast. Hopefully SSG can find a way to battle back, because right now, things are starting to heat up. Been fantastic so far. CCTV cash room going to be the choice once again. Want to run it back, see if they are able to clean up any of their play that got them into that original situation of the 1v3, which Bosco lost.
Instead of going over to Jim or Master, we're going to see Space Station go back to CCTV and cash. It was a winnable situation, I would say, for Space Station, but Rogue read it correctly and made the adjustments inside of Garage. It could have gone really bad for Rogue when they put 3 bodies in Garage. It looked like it might have actually, but Easily was the only person that was trying to cover a push towards the Garage side from CCTV. That had gone wrong for Rogue while we have a different scoreline at the top instead of Rogue taking the round. So I think Space Station saw that they realized that they can quite easily end up taking that round back with a couple small adjustments. I would imagine that's what we're going to see here this time around. Don't lose somebody early. I mean, Chala did get the trade, but then fell very fast just because he wasn't thinking that somebody would have pushed in from the top of blue stairs. Round number 8 underway.
The big point last time was that Redeemer inside of Garage, it was just not a good look for them at all. No ADS is up there to help him out with any incoming nades, as well as so many people dedicated to getting him off of the catwalk. And the big thing right there, someone able to actually rush up the staircase and get shots onto him from the equal playing field at the top of said staircase, as they are actually going to see Rampy run back upstairs. He is going to get away with his life. A little scary there for him, but Chala is going to be playing over near the Garage just in case anything goes too terribly wrong.
It's a missed opportunity to capitalize on that castle being as exposed as he was. You had Eclipse essentially open up that castle barricade, and well, Slash just wasn't quick enough. Easily waiting for enough of that bottom CCTV wall to be open, but Eclipse, after he opens up the main door, he tries to go in through Garage and gets punished from Chala. Chala's playing in the exact same position he was in last round. He's sitting with the diffuser in front of him. So somebody from Rogue is going to have to go get that. Or you might just think that it's worthwhile to go for a frag fest here. It did deal quite a bit of damage to Rampy, but that was really it. Both Slash and Shuttle taking some minor damage. Chala spotted. They're going to try to pinch the Jaeger as best as he can. Redeemer is a Yokai drone in there just to give him some covering fire in case he needs to, and Rampy will hold any angle over on the side of Lounge.
Now, Redeemer has been fantastic so far with this Echo play, especially these Yokais keeping one on site and keeping one on roam. Looks like things might be heating up here just a little bit as Chalah's going to find another one on a vertical with a headshot. Redeemer soon going to be in hot water as well as, oh my goodness, Shuttle is gone. Is he going to find two? Oh my goodness, shots going over the box, but not going to find anything on the Slash Hug. Doing so little damage, which Chalah going to find easily. It's all left up to Slash. And Rampy is gonna find him. Space Station walking away with this defensive round.
Not as much of a blowout as Consulate. Both of these teams putting in great work. This is gonna open up Church and Arsenal back downstairs for Space Station as well, as they won it on their very first defense. Still widely considered to be one of the more favorable sites in the entire game for defenders. In fact, I believe it was in Rio in the Pro League Finals that there wasn't a single successful attack on Church site in Clubhouse. Now, I might have been reading those stats wrong. Once again, I will either be proven right or proven wrong. I'm basically doubling up on this time, if I can use a gambling reference, given our current location. So, Rampy moving off to the Legion as we go back downstairs, or moving off towards the Legion as we go back downstairs to Church and Arsenal room.
Y'all are crazy. I don't really know what to say. But we are gonna have Rampy top on the scoreboard this time around. 6 kills, 5 deaths. Lost myself there for a second, but we're back. As we are having an equal scoreline right now. 4-4 across the board for both teams. And everyone's showing up player-wise, which is exactly what you want to see. Equal contest. And so far, so good for both of these teams. Still wanting Rogue to get that overtime.
I will say I'm a bit disappointed in what we've seen out of Vertical today. I think somebody who is able to step up and absolutely demolish teams, as he's done in the past, has had a bit of a quiet go of it so far. If he wakes up, I think that's really problematic for Space Station Gaming, but that's an if, not necessarily a when. Still, Vertical is better than his stat line has been so far today. If you're Rogue, you're hoping that at some point, he's going to come alive.
Eclipse spotting Chalah on the staircase over there, but the information is going to be way too far gone for them to do anything about it. Now, downstairs site selected for the defense right here, which means a lot of hatches are going to be opened, and they're going to have to choose which side they want to take from. You can either take from blue, where you see Hala currently getting played by Chalah on that staircase, or you can take from the front / moto area and start pushing yourself down towards the Church wall. Either work your way up hallway, which isn't the best tactic, or you can push yourself over through moto, trying to get control of Church. Either or, Rogue really going to have to make that decision quickly, as they are going to be getting those hatches open right now, and they do recognize that Chalah is once again on those blue stairs.
One thing that Space Station has done quite well is roam, too. Chalah in particular has been doing an excellent job of keeping Rogue at bay and also getting opening frags, which is huge for a roamer. Of course, when you look at the site of Church downstairs, your roam game is not going to need to be that significant. It's a huge site. You can essentially roam elsewhere outside of the sites on that basement floor. Even then, Space Station had Chalah set up over at the top of blue stairs so that he could possibly try and take some time away, but he's gotten back to site. The only person who looks like they might have gone for a roam was Bosco, who was over towards the blue tunnel, picking up an oil pit. Usually gets claymored off, but there's not one there from Rogue yet. So if they wanted to, Space Station would be able to rotate up the top of that ladder.
Minute 15 on the clock, as they are focused on the Church wall. You see the torch start to go through, thinking Nade playing close. Is he going to be able to find the map? No. Easily, though, going to find Rampy. It's going to be the Legion off the board, as things are starting to heat up in this round, at least. Seems to me that they are going to be opting for this Church push right here. Mav still alive. You know who isn't alive, though? Thinking Nade, as Shuttle will find him with that Mav.
Might have just cleared out Church as well. How important that one line is to open things up. Now, if the rest of Space Station should just continue to bleed away at the time, that Yokai drone from Redeemer that's currently seated inside of Church can knock somebody out of the plant. They'll lose one of the Yokai drones and wait to see if the plant will go off. And there it goes, setting down on the IQ, 20 seconds, and Chalah's gonna try to tag in here, gets a kill down. Eclipse is there to eliminate Bosco, but Chalah can't get it. That means Redeemer's the only one left, but no, they lose the Yokai. Redeemer will have his most handy asset stripped away from him, and Rogue will move to match point. as they pinpoint the Echo's location and get the final kill needed. 5-4 Rogue.
The game sense there by Sheldon to know that he was going to rotate up that hallway and try to use his own map holes against him. That was insane right there to see, as Rogue is going to go up 5-4 to that beautiful match point. As they are going to be on the attack once again, things working out pretty well for them on those slow attacks as well. They did get control of Church pretty handedly, as you see a little bit of Mav work on those reinforcements can go a long way.
This could be it for Rogue to look towards coastline between these teams. I mean, if you predicted that we'd have an exciting matchup, you'd be correct. You might not get the winner right, but you at least get the fact that it's been enjoyable to say the least. I'm going to imagine that we have a tactical timeout on behalf of Spacestation Gaming, as this is the time when you want to take it. They did have their timeout remaining, and that is correct. We do have a tactical timeout here being used. So, with the series and the game on the line, series being on the line in the sense that if they win this, they can go to overtime and Space Station can still put Clubhouse away without needing to play on Coastline. It's a good time to use your timeout. Might have been a bit too late, could have possibly used it in the previous round, but you didn't know if you were going to win or not. It would have been a gamble that might not have ended up working out in favor of Space Station. So they'll take a couple seconds, determine what they want to do and where they want to go. The only site that they can't go to is CCTV and Cache. They can go to Gym Master, they can go to Church downstairs in Arsenal, they can go to Barstock if they want to, but they're going to choose Church.
Now they are going to have Redeemer here on the pulse. I expect that to get 6 picked off of. If they lock it in for him, I'd actually be very surprised because of his recent Echo play. He's been playing him quite a bit. As the 6-pick phase is going to come to a close. Redeemer is going to stay on the pulse. Now, the idea behind this more than likely is they want to know what side they're going to be pushing from. If they're able to identify that out with Pulse's scanner, they will be able to shift their reinforcements over to try and help them inside of Church or Blue.
I think the biggest issue that Space Station has had on this site, especially in the last round, is just information. Where are the attackers coming from? Where are Rogue and where are the 5 members of Rogue going to decide to push from? Now, most of Rogue's pushes have been over on the Moto and Church side of things. There hasn't been any really concerted effort on the Kitchen. A big part of that is because you don't have a Hibana to open up Kitchen and then also have a Thermite to take control of Dirt Tunnel. So you basically have to ignore that because even if you take Kitchen, you're likely going to have somebody playing in Dirt. That was where Redeemer was on Space Station. I think it's a good choice from Space Station. They realize that the Echo doesn't work. The Yokais are being really ineffective. Pulse is a very strong operator on this map, and particularly on this site. I mean, there is a position on the basement called Pulse Spot, where Pulse will sit, and he can get command over the stairs, he can get command over the hallway above, and of course Kitchen as well.
Yeah, and you will see Vertical more than likely focus a lot of his efforts for that Kitchen area just to try and find Redeemer. They do know he's on the board because Redeemer did not select him during the 6-pick phase. Now, what Rogue is going to want to try to do here is replicate their success on this attack so far they've had downstairs. But the one thing you guys more than likely saw was they did do the exact same mirror setup that the guys from Rogue did. Now, there is one thing that everyone always loves to say, and it's that if you know how to do it, you should know how to also attack it. We'll see if that is going to come to fruition for Rogue.
Upstairs in Kitchen, you'll have the Sledge of Eclipse just trying to open up as much of the floor as possible. Usually maximum destruction gets done up there, and it's very similar to what we see on Consulate inside of Piano, is that you want to open up the floor and make it almost impossible for the defenders to sit without being picked off. And in the latter portion of a round, if you have a numbers advantage as an attacker, you are capable of keeping somebody up there. This has been read very well by Space Station Gaming, and it's that Rogue open up Dirt Tunnel. This is something that we actually haven't seen on Clubhouse when Hibana gets banned because your exothermic charges from Thermite are usually going somewhere else. But with having a Maverick, it makes it quite advantageous to be able to put this pressure on where needed. Rampy's playing a dangerous game here as he gets droned out twice over by boxes. He's going to need to land the shot of his life onto Vertical. He's going to peek around the brick opening. There's a Maverick there too. He's basically going to tempt him. Rampy waiting, a grenade is going to go in. He moves, and there's no follow-up. It's a hairy situation to find himself in. Rampy could be a dead man very, very shortly.
Rest of the team trying to delay as much as possible, as we are going to get to the 40-second mark here. Bosco going to remove Eclipse's head for him, as it seems like they are going to stick onto this mud tunnel. Not enough time to rotate if they wanted to. Rampy going to find Shuttle, though. All that's left inside the tunnel is going to be Vert, but he's not going to have enough time to move. Thinking Nade keeping those toxic babes on him, which can delay for 30 seconds, but Slasher going to find one of his own. As things are starting to get a little bit crazy as we do hit that 17-second mark. Rampy rotating around, trying to see if he can find anybody else. Not going to come to fruition just yet, and there it is. Oh my goodness, Rampy! Vertical going to shut him down though, and Redeemer going to find him, as overtime is going to be the answer for Space Station Gaming.
Once again, another round where Rampy just comes out of nowhere, guns a-blazing, playing on the exact same spot that you'd expect him to be on. Now, a real question, who's going to defend twice? It's going to be Space Station getting to go to defense on 2 occasions. Last time around, the attackers won 2 of the 5 attempts that they had. So it's continuing on with the trend of Clubhouse being more defender-sided, but not actually by that much, not as much as we're used to seeing. First crack at overtime is going to push SSG to go to CCTV and cash. Now keep in mind, because every site unlocks when you hit overtime, they could have gone back downstairs to Church and Arsenal and forced Rogue to commit to yet another attack on a site. That would be the 3rd time, but it's going to be upstairs to CCTV and cash.
Attackers need to locate
record of 50%. They won it once, they lost it once. It's a wash.
The big thing here for this defense is going to be trying to delay as much time as possible. That is how they made this work the last time around. And honestly, they might have been trying to throw it to a different site just to throw off the operator choice by the offense, but they have brought Shuttle on the map and easily on the Thermite every single time so far on this offense. It's been working pretty well for them so far, but they're going to have to find success twice with these offensive rounds. If you guys do not know how the overtime system works, it is basically best out of 3. So the first one to win 2 rounds of those 3 is going to be your victor on the map. If that happens for Space Station, they take the entire series. They will be facing EG in the finals. If Rogue is able to do that, we will be going to the 3rd map, which is Coastline, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
There's middling results for Redeemer's Echo on that metal catwalk in Garage. First defense for Space Station Gaming, he was essentially left on his own. 3 bodies from Rogue came charging at him and he was dead very quickly. Second time around, Space Station were able to keep angles held on any push coming out from Garage. Doesn't bode well for Space Station that it takes 2 of them to hit a drone after 10 seconds. We hope that they have some better mechanical aim when it comes to the larger bodies of the 5 attackers on Rogue's side of things. 1 exothermic charge from Thermite will open up a Garage panel, and easily will likely use the other exothermic charge on the wall upstairs in CCTV. One of the bodies from Space Station that was playing in Garage, trying to hold control for the team, was Chala. Will drop through Oil Pit and retreat, while Rampy has taken some damage. And Chala's going to be held up at the top of Blue Stairs by a castle barricade. Just on the other side of it is Vertical, though, and well, he's going to try to get away, but he gets flushed into thinking Nade. Vertical could not have seen that one coming, and Space Station will open up this round.
Vertical not really concerned about those vertical angles, but Shala as well as Redeemer both going to find a kill. They're making it look easy right now. Oh my goodness, this defense playing hardball, as it is all up to Easily and Shuttle. Both the hard breachers still alive, but it's not looking too good for them right now. We are about halfway through the round, so we do still have plenty of time for them to make something happen. But both of Easily's exothermic charges are going to be gone, as they were used upstairs on the server wall. That means no rotation to construction, more than likely.
Great play there from Redeemer's Yokai drone, just marking away and in a very strong position, just on the top of the door frame. Being able to give as much information as need be. Easily goes out unscathed though, but diffuser's still down. Shuttle's just gonna get a freebie as he charges up the Garage stairs. And Rogue will really need to frag well. They don't have the diffuser because they realize in a 4v2 planting is all but impossible. But the Yokais from the Echo will only be cameras. They cannot do much. Chala playing on the stairs in red. Sees the hop in and a beautiful shot, looking for a second. They know Easily's in sight. Chala pops up. Match point, Space Station, series point, and championship point for this Western Conference for Space Station Gaming.
That was an entirely different Space Station on that defense right there. Hyped, as you guys could see on the camera, everybody getting real active at their desks. They want this so bad. 6-5 is the current score line, and it is going to take a little bit of hope here for Rogue, ladies and gentlemen, if they want to bring this back. As we have the SSG chance going through the house. Oh my goodness, what an electric place this is.
I'd imagine the Space Station Gaming team is winning over quite a bit of fans here with their performance over the last couple months, getting better and better as a team. This has been a pretty big challenge for them. Consulate, it's not a cakewalk, but it was a lot easier than this. Church and Arsenal Room will be Rogue's possible last crack at any round here on Clubhouse. It'll be their only defense, we know that much.
They are going to be going downstairs as well, which last time worked out for them quite a few times, except for that time that Thinking Nade just absolutely ran through them.
Yeah, it was, once again, very similar to what we saw in CCTV Cash for SSG last round. Rogue won once and lost once on this site, so it's still a 50-50, so an essential coin toss as to how this is going to work. On Space Station side of things, you're going to have to bring Maverick. He's been brought so often on Clubhouse. He's almost always an auto ban, so it is a bit interesting to see his usage in a competitive setting, given the fact that he's often taken off the board. For Rogue, it's going to be a pretty standard lineup that we see. You've got a couple roles that are a little bit flexible here. The Legion could be somebody else. You could also run with somebody instead of the Echo. You're going to have a Pulse downstairs and a Mira. This is going to be information in spades for Rogue. If those yokai drones of Easily can stay up, given that there's no IQ on Space Station side of things, it could be Rogue just simply trying to waste as much time as possible and deny a plant once it hits the 0-second mark.
Slash going to be playing Pulse, as is tradition for downstairs. Looks like they're relatively going to be running the exact same setup. Clips is going to be on that Mira, and they have the exact same Mira setup downstairs on the church wall as well. Seeing if that will work out for them this time around. Last time, did not find too much success. It was a 50-50, 1-1, lost one. As we are going to see exactly how SSG wants to deal with it this time around. Again, one time winning, one time losing.
Having an excellent game so far has been Rampy. He's actually been having an excellent tournament so far, or excellent finals. Once again, we credited Thinking Nade for how many impact frags he can get. And Rampy gets impact frags, and he just gets frags across the board, whether they're impactful or not. He's going to have one of the best guns in the entire game. That's going to be in the F2.
That F2, so dangerous in the right hands, and Rampy's been looking so good. So good so far, as he actually did it for the Miras, and he's gonna get one, ladies and gentlemen. That is one of the main reasons to play Twitch, is to pop those Mira windows. They weren't ready for it, as Twitch's drones are pretty quiet, but he's gonna pop one of the most important Miras, which is the one closest to the door. The other one you can find from upstairs. If you really want to, you can get that angle, but Vertical's actually going to be down in the process, and this is not going to be good. Thinking Nade, sticking with his namesake, going to make that grenade work as he does take out Vertical, as this slowly falls into the favor of SSG. 52 seconds left on the clock. Something's has to give. Eclipse actually going to rotate all the way up main. Is he going to find two? No, Chala's going to take him up, but Chala's going to get immediately refragged by Slashug as things are starting to go absolutely nuclear here. We will immediately start to slow back down, as there still is plenty of time left on the clock for both of these teams to make something work. Thinking Nade over here on Moto, he is going to drop and see if he can reenact exactly what he did the first round. They play down here, but no Shuttle going to be able to shut him down. Redeemer here for the backup. Is he going to find him? Yes, he is. 20 seconds left. They need to do something on this offense. There is no time to slow down, but no, Slashug going to shut down Redeemer. It's left up to Bosco. He's been playing such a great tournament so far with all these entry frags. Will he be able to shut them down? No! Easily going to push it to the full limit for Rogue. It is 6-6.
What a comeback. Every single round, and it'll come down to, what was it, lucky number 13 here between these teams. Interesting move, though, by Space Station to go to CCTV and cash first. It's going to allow Church and Arsenal to be the stage for the final round on Clubhouse. No matter what, we're done after this. The only question is if we know who's going to be facing Evil Geniuses in the USN Championship, or if we're going to go to Coastline. I know for many of you in the crowd, you probably want your preferred team to win, but those that are cheering for just a good match probably want Coastline. So there's obviously going to be some vested interests here.
Oh my goodness.
You've been a great crowd all weekend, but I mean, if you're a fan of Rogue and you're a fan of Space Station, this is when you cheer for them over the next 3 minutes. So
you're going to want to give them your energy, ladies and gentlemen, as the Eclipse is going to flex over to that blitz, which we have not seen much of this weekend.
Weird flex, but okay.
Oh my goodness. This place is getting so loud right now as we are going to be going into round number 13. SSG going to follow suit with Rogue and do the exact same mirror setup inside of Church. If it's not broke, don't fix it. They even got the mirror window the last time. Really did not have an impact on the round at all.
Yeah. I like that they have taken the Echo away from Space Station, though. We did not really see a single round where Echo was a net positive for Space Station on the basement. In fact, the Pulse was very strong in being able to identify every single position for Rogue attackers. Space Station actually having a couple bodies, not playing on site. You have the Rook of Rampy. Everybody loves a roaming Rook. You got an ACOG. You're a big, thick boy. You're able to run around, take a lot of damage. And if you go prone, you're basically indestructible. It's the hardest surface known to mankind, or the hands and souls of Rook. It was also Space Station were able to get an early pick because they had somebody playing off-site on Church and Arsenal in order to send us to overtime. So, can lightning strike twice? You said earlier it doesn't. Statistically, it usually doesn't.
We work in absolutes here. We work in absolute. And absolutely not lightning strike. Lightning does not strike twice unless you are very unlucky, or in this favor right here, if you are lucky. But I can tell you one thing though. I'm extremely excited to see exactly what they're going to do with this blitz. Now, Redeemer on that pulse, once again, as you were just talking about, is going to be able to identify out where they want to make this push, and that is going to be the crux of this defense for SSG. The bad thing about being downstairs is when you're not able to find out where they're pushing. Well, Redeemer's going to find that out right now, and he's also going to find out that they have a blitz as he's going to just full send it right back to site. He's getting chased down. Eclipse is going to get tatted up just a little bit, but the Nitro Cell is not really going to do anything, as that will be strike of luck for the blitz.
This is Rogue realizing that the biggest counter to blitz is a Legion. There's not one on the board. But another good counter. Oh, Rampy taking out Slash. The Thatcher will be stopped inside a dirt tunnel as Eclipse will dance around the edges and get hit. Down to very low amount of HP. Rampy still has another impact he can toss. And I think they realize it as the grenade! Rampy picks up two as Vertical gets Bosco and Shuttle shuts it down. Thinking Nade sees a rotation into blue as a C4 from Chala will miss. And Rogue managing the clock as best as they can. The Thermite from Easily will miss Chala as he rotates outwards. And there's a long angle being held from Shuttle. Chala very lucky to be staying alive. But it's going to be tense as Shuttle is going to have to contend with two. Thinking Nade trying to scare off the IQ of Vertical, but there's Shuttle and Rogue looking to send us to Coastline. They're in very good position to do so. Rogue having complete control of Arsenal. Chala very low on HP. No opportunity to stop that defuse. Chala goes prone. He gets taken out by Shuttle. Thinking Nade is so close. But Rogue can taste Coastline and they want it real bad. Diffuser being down. Thinking Nade will have to go against three members as he skirts around the table inside of Church. SMG 11 in hand. Timer hitting the halfway mark. Vertical will catch his back. And that's all she wrote for Clubhouse. Easily. Rogue will manage to fight off quite the scare and win an attack when they needed it most. We've got another map between these two teams. We'll see it in just a couple minutes. What A conclusion that was.
I mean, you want to talk about barn burner right now. That map was a barn burner going the full distance. And honestly, I was speechless that entire last part of that round. I mean, I'm really happy.